Alright guys, we are live from the Brojo for another Robro News. And thanks Max for not being a dick.
You're welcome.
I am Keanu Banias, your dictator and Fuhrer from what Ryan has told me.
Hail.
I feel this got dark too fast.
And for Zach, because of your people, you can call me Supreme Leader.
Alright, you got it. You're
And
no Fuhrer of mine.
That's cool. I'm okay with
Does that
that.
mean I
not my fear.
Does that mean I have to march for you too?
No,
Out in the
see, I don't want any
streets?
of you to march because like our revenue is nerds, so they won't march for me. So.
Have you guys ever seen the videos of the North Koreans marching to like
J-pop?
Yeah.
I watched it too. The best day ever from SpongeBob.
Yeah, that too. Or there's oh god, I can't remember the name of the song now.
Well, I'm here with
Max, Eli,
Zach.
Guy who's afraid of the chupacabra, apparently.
Gil's afraid of the chupacabra. You heard it here.
Send hairless dogs his way.
Yes.
all of them.
We'll give you his address. It's
Please
in the
don't.
ice cream capital of the world. So
Please don't.
Google ice cream capital of the world.
Don't.
And just release
Stop.
hairless dogs all around.
Right, guy.
And I am John Dean.
All right. So what have you guys been up to lately? Anyone?
Destiny 2.
Same. Scum of the earth.
Dude, it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's not
Were
bad.
you playing Halo with Jay last night?
No.
I was.
Fuck you guys. I was sick as shit, and he kept me up screaming like a pterodactyl.
Fuck you.
No, because all I could hear is ah!
You know, we actually don't know what dinosaurs sounded like.
Right. From Jurassic Park standard, he sounded like the things he loves.
Yeah. No,
I imagine they sounded like Jay.
Last night I fell asleep watching Breaking Bad. And I woke up later and people were just getting murdered all over, and I'm like,
It's such a good show.
hope up
Walter
not.
White is my favorite character. I wish he would have won.
Jesse's my favorite.
I don't like anybody in that show.
Yeah, they're all shitty.
Yeah.
I like the
They're all-
pizza.
No, I like
That's my
Mike.
favorite character.
I like Mike.
Or no, I like Saul a lot. He's
Yeah.
pretty fucking funny.
Saul and Mike.
So we've well,
Pizza. Still my favorite
fuck
character.
outta here.
No, the pizza's the best part.
He's not wrong.
It's still on the roof like 6 episodes later. Once you're in the show that long, you're a definitive character.
I need to know his backstory now.
Exactly.
He got killed off.
Where is he
R.I.P.
from?
What fan theories do you have? Let us know.
My favorite characters always die.
Well, actually, for one thing,
Just
you
like my
can.
hopes and dreams.
Our YouTube channel has now invented Story Mode Saturday, where we're playing the Ballad of LL Cool J for Fallout 4.
You guys played an hour and a half without finding the jump button.
It
in
was
Fallout
Y
4.
apparently.
It's
Y
Y.
apparently was the
What?
jump button.
Yeah, they played for an hour
Have
and a
you
half
not
without
played
jumping.
Fallout
We haven't,
4?
we
No, I have
haven't
not.
played for.
I've only played
forever.
Fallout 3.
And I was
Oh,
just, we were
Jesus.
just walking around punching things.
Jesus.
I mean, you could have just hit every button on the controller.
We didn't think about that. Like for like 20
If
minutes.
I would have had the controller instead of you, I would have figured it out eventually.
Probably.
I'm pretty sure you can go to the options menu because there's always configurations for controllers.
Right.
there.
Then this is why Kian's bad at video games, and that's why it's kind of funny to watch me play.
You are bad at
Because
video
I
Yeah, you are.
curse like a sailor and
Like,
look
really
like a
bad
dip.
at
I like
video
look
games.
curse like a sailor and look like a dipshit.
Yep.
Playing all the video games. I was finally just like I was dying. I was like, just Max, just fucking take the controller, dude. I can't fucking play this.
I don't think you understood the rage I was having when I was watching you trying to make a bed.
He just
I was getting so pissed.
when he was running around, he like tries to take corners by just running into the wall and then turning, running into the wall and then turning.
Well, he's trying to put a bed down in the living room, and he had it. It was green, and then he kept going too far over, so it wouldn't go down. And he was like, "Fuck it, I'm putting it outside." I'm just like, "Motherfucker, just go back a little bit."
Put it in the middle of the room, damn it.
Yeah, just so now in our sanctuary, there's a bed outside. And
Yeah.
God.
We also recorded the Tournament of Blood, which will be this comes out on Tuesdays. So the Tournament of Blood, I think, will come out Friday night, just to get y'all spooky stuff getting ready for Spooky Weed. And I thought it was fun. It was nice to actually have a panel. Gil didn't say as many shitty jokes, so
I did say quite a few though.
yeah.
He had
I
one
still,
left throughout the entire thing.
I probably shouldn't have been on the panel.
I like you as you like you know. Do you
Everyone
remember-
else was like, "Yeah, I think this person will win because of this, and this." I was just like, they're gonna win.
You're the
It's gonna happen.
It was nice
like,
to have
Willard's got
differing
some rats. I think he's got
experiences.
the edge.
Yeah, but it was nice to have you on it because you didn't really know it. So when you heard about the things, because then there were some where we needed you
Main
to.
weapon was a truck.
I know what we should title the episode. Beware the ass wong.
That's episode 2. So that'll be episode 2.
Oh, okay.
So episode 1 will be Eli doesn't know shit.
I know shit.
So you've been watching Breaking Bad. I'm gonna guess you two. I've been working a lot.
Hey, you know what? I've also gotten bug bites. To suck a dick. Something new.
I've also.
Also gotten bug bites.
Right.
Mosquitoes
I've
can suck a
also-
dick.
How long do you spend?
Apparently,
on
like my
something
job now
Probably
sells
not mine.
Funko Pops because we got like a bunch of limited edition Star Wars Funko Pops at my work.
Lol.
Yeah, my supervisor, my manager's like, we need these out. People are buying them. Jacob Newcombs will not come to JCPenney's because they can't afford clothes like that. They go to Walmart. Okay.
Mm.
What about you, John?
Playing a bunch of Destiny. Samus Returns.
That game is actually really fun.
I'm a little disappointed in the enemy variety.
Yeah.
Everything's kind of samey. All the bosses are kind of
Right.
the same.
But I don't know.
It's
I
not
think-
really that hard, and the hard mode is locked by an amiibo. So
Would you say that the hard mode? Would you say Sonic Mania is a lot harder than Samus Returns?
I mean, I've already beat it again. So no, but
Did you beat that first boss pretty well the first time?
I beat the whole game in like 5 hours.
I know. I mean, I beat it.
The first time, no. The second time, no. It's Sonic. The platforming sucks.
The
So
live stream,
It
no.
takes me
Yeah,
a
I was
lot of tries.
Gotta
but-
say, we had some troubles with that playthrough.
Well, I mean, I struggle with every boss in Sonic because the platforming is.
Dipshits kept drowning, though. I'm just saying.
To be fair, you couldn't have done any better.
I
we
beat
were
the
doing
game.
pretty well.
Max and I beat the game without dying.
I've never heard John rage like that before.
You never really watched me play games by myself.
Well, that's true, but you
And I did
yeah.
get a chance to play the new Mario Rabbids game.
Nice.
Again?
It's pretty fun.
Did I say that already?
You said that already.
Yeah.
I don't remember if I said it already.
I know we talked about it. I didn't
But
remember
it's-
you said
yeah.
you played it.
Fucking stupid good.
Okay.
Fucking stupid good.
We basically equated it to XCOM for children.
It is XCOM. It's you take Mario and you take Rabbids and you make Nintendo make XCOM 2 with different skins, and that's what it is. And
So you take
fucking awesome.
You take dopey rabbits. You take a plumber. I mean, a freelancer.
Yeah, he's a freelancer
take
now.
a freelancer,
Mhm.
mesh them all together, and then you get that.
$signs.
Yeah, but it's really good actually. It's making me really want to go out and
You
buy
know,
my own
Max,
Switch.
you did do something very important last night.
I did?
You watched The Room.
Oh, God. I was already trying to forget that.
Do we really need to talk about it?
It does, because it actually correlates to what we're going to talk about.
God dang it.
How do you think about The Room,
That's
Max?
depressing.
What's the Room? What do you give it? Because this is what happened. I told Max, we'll just watch 10 minutes of The Room just to get you the vibe of what this movie is going to be like. He sat and watched the entire movie. Every time he touched the controller, I thought he was going to turn it off. No, he clicked YouTube just to see how long he had left. He's like, all right, I can power through this. I can power through this. Every 10 minutes, he's like, okay, I only have 30 minutes left. Okay, I only have 20 minutes left. Oh, there's only 10 minutes left. I need to know.
And then I accidentally backed up about 30 seconds and almost rage quit. It was so fucking done.
So how do you think about The Room?
What's the one above Dumpster Fire?
Meh?
Meh's above Dumpster Fire? Really?
Nope. It was nope, actually.
Nope.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a nope. Only because I found the movie so bad it was funny to watch at times.
Yeah, that's why everybody loves it.
Yeah.
It was so bad though.
That's like the only redeeming feature of the movie.
I was about ready to fucking stab Key, and the first half hour of the movie is basically a porno. I was like, why the fuck are you watching porn on my YouTube?
And this is Max, actually. Max got madder and madder as I was telling him facts about The Room. The Room was made with $6 million.
That's a fuck ton of money for that shit ass
Tony
movie.
Wazoo, because people still buy copies of The Room and stream it, makes $1 million a year.
Considering that the Mortal Kombat movie was made with like $35,000 and is still pretty not good, but like miles beyond this movie.
Yeah.
It
How much
pisses
was,
me off too.
How much did Kung Fury get money wise? I don't know.
Enough.
I thought Kung Fury was an okay, bad movie, though.
I thought it was great.
Dude,
I
Kung
love
Fury
that
is
movie.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's made by like what, 2 guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so smart.
It's
Fucking love it.
It's
awesome.
And it brings us to the trailer for The Disaster Artist. And for me, I want to watch this movie. After watching The Room again, I want to watch this movie because it's not The Room. It's the making of The Room. And there was some fucked up shit that happened during the making of The Room.
Parody of the making of
No,
the
they were
Room.
taking from the book what happened.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
Because-
shit that actually happened. And there are people...
That just kind of weirds me out then because it's a Franco movie and.
Right, no,
Rogan
they're
and
taking
shit like
they're
that.
taking this seriously.
But I mean, I guess it was such a fucking.
I mean, it seriously
It's
is
basically
a
like
joke.
it's basically like a real life parody already.
Yeah.
Right.
So
My thing about it, just watching it, is like, when you watch The Room, I have no sympathy for Tommy Wiseau because I'm just like, this guy's a fucking moron. And then you watch the trailer, like, man, I kind of feel bad for him because he's actually trying to do his shit.
Yeah, he
But-
tried to make a good movie.
Right.
Everybody hated on it.
Right.
So bad.
And I felt like
because it's terrible.
it's terrible.
Oh, yeah.
What's the name of the main character again?
Tommy Wiseau.
No, Johnny.
Johnny.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
The line that sold me on this movie was when it's Franco writing the script, and he's just all like, "There's a very handsome guy named Johnny, played by me. He might be a vampire.
And
I don't know. We'll see."
Throughout the movie, Max and I were just making jokes. He's a
It's like-
methed out vampire.
I fucking called the end of the movie, by the way. I actually called a lot of the movie.
Right. Well, yeah, because it's so.
It's
paint by the
very
numbers.
obvious
Yeah.
what's going on. And I was really pissed off that I fucking called it the entire time.
Two scenes that made me really want to watch this movie because Max and I brought up the awkward sex scene where it's like, is he fucking her in the belly button? And then in the trailer he's like, is he fucking her in the belly button? He knows where her vagina is, right? And I'm just like, oh, see, everyone had this thought. And the cast is weird though. You have Zac Efron's in it,
Yep.
Josh Hutcherson, fucking
I
Seth
love,
Rogen?
I love the
Seth
cast,
Rogen.
yeah.
Yeah, and
I
it's
love the
such a-
cast
yeah.
that's going to be in it.
The thing that brings me out of it is that James and Dave Franco look so much. They're brothers and they look like brothers, so it's like hard to like be like, okay, you guys aren't friends, you guys are brothers. Like,
The suspension of disbelief is not there for
Right.
you.
so Gil, because
I was gonna say I really like the cast too because I mean the way this actually happened, like in real life, almost plays out like a weird Seth Rogen movie.
Yeah,
Right.
it does.
So
it plays out
seeing
like The Interview.
who's
So.
in this cast is fucking perfect.
Right, and they've admitted they really love The Room. There's not like they don't just hate The Room; they actually really love The Room.
I mean, I pretty much watch it every time it's on TV.
on you mean April Fools during
Yeah,
Adult
pretty
Swim?
much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I might end up doing that
Right.
every year.
So hey Gil, we at the Roshan Bros want to be ethnically diverse, and we want you to talk about the new movie Coco.
Speak for yourself.
So what you're saying is you want to suck a big salty dick.
No, like I feel like you understand what's going on in this movie more than anyone else is.
Why? Why do you make that assumption?
I assume your family celebrates Day of the Dead. Maybe I'm wrong.
We do not, you piece of shit.
You're not doing
I
anything.
know,
right.
oh,
I know what.
We're not
Do we need to
racist,
put a
bro.
disclaimer in this?
That's no more.
We're not misogynist.
I'm just,
No,
do you know
no,
the
this one is him being
origins of the Day
racist.
of the Dead?
What?
Do you know the origins of the Day of the Dead?
El Dia de Muertos Muertos? No, I don't.
Okay, you should look that up sometime.
Okay, well, no. So the next trailer is.
I
coming.
don't think that the Day of the Dead is the big emphasis of the movie.
No.
I think it's a part of the movie.
It is part of the movie, but like what I
But-
mean is that like the culture is very Mexican. Like not it's not like any other kind of it's Mexican. It's Mexican culture. I'm not being a dick, Gil. Like I joke around, but like
Yeah.
I mean to be fair, I feel like you understood what was going on. Like understood that shit better than I did. I think it looks aesthetically pleasing. I think it looks really pretty.
It's a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
I'm
They
probably gonna go
ruined
watch
a
it.
great song with their trailer.
What song was that?
Bittersweet Symphony was in the background.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a
wow.
good song.
Mm-hmm.
Too bad they don't get any of the money from that.
Nope.
Why is
It's a
that? I
Disney
don't-
movie, so it's
Why don't?
gonna be
Because
pretty
it's
good.
just a non.
Bittersweet Symphony.
Yeah.
They took the dun, 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 dun,
Oh,
dun,
okay.
dun from a Rolling Stones song.
Oh.
I don't
That sucks.
know. A lot of what the movie is about is like music, and I like very musical movies, not musicals.
It'll
but
probably have some musical influence, but it's not going to be
It's
a
an
musical.
animated film for kids. It is definitely going to have some
But it's
musical
Pixar, and
numbers
Pixar doesn't put musical
It's
numbers in
Pixar
it.
and Disney.
I
in it. It's
know.
a Pixar movie where the main character wants to do music
A magical guitar.
and has a magical guitar. There's gonna be some musical numbers.
Yeah, if there's
Maybe.
musical numbers, it's gonna be a big no for me. I hate musical numbers.
I might
in
be
movies.
okay with it just because the style that the music is more than likely going to be in is going to be really fresh
I like the
compared
animation.
to it a lot. And I really like
It
the
is very
animation
aesthetically
too.
I do, and the animation actually reminds me of the Book of Life, and as well as I don't know if you guys watch this, but I used to love this show on Cartoon Network, El Tigre, The Adventures of Manny
Oh,
Ramirez.
that was an
Nickelodeon.
awesome
Yeah, Nickelodeon.
show.
Yeah, it was
Fantastic
a fucking
show.
fantastic show. I wonder why you liked it.
Because it's a good show.
It's a good show.
Not everything has to be about race skiing.
I know. I like chopsticks because I'm white, but it's all good. But no, it's like on the real, like it is to me. I think it is a very it is like it looks beautiful,
It does.
and all Pixar movies to me, like there have been a few Pixar movies, the Cars series, that I could just wish I could wish out of existence. But this I feel like is gonna do pretty well.
I love Cars.
The first
Yeah,
one
I love
was
really
great.
like
great.
the first one,
The
yeah.
first one was great.
I don't.
heard that.
like
But I
it.
was a kid when that came
Yeah,
out. You
see-
see?
Yeah. Of course, you're
I
I was
wasn't a
sullied.
kid and I still like the first Cars.
My thing about Cars is I was sullied after Cars 2 and rewatching Cars 1. And
Yeah.
like when you rewatch it after watching Cars 2, you're just like, oh, this is where it's gonna go. This is just fuck.
Yeah, I've never seen Cars.
I think it helps
I know
that
the premise, and
back when Cars 1 came out was when Larry the Cable Guy was still kind of funny.
Kind of.
I mean,
I don't think
yeah.
it was ever funny.
I was gonna
That's why I
say,
said kind
in a
of.
non-redneck environment, he's never
Yeah.
funny. You see,
Then we go into the.
my family really likes it.
Don't worry, mine too.
Then we go
Mine
into.
too.
God damn it. See, I do use affirmative action. I have rednecks.
I'm not a redneck.
You say that now.
I'm about as white trash as it gets.
Yeah, you
Trailer
are.
park and everything. So then we go into the Matt Damon movie, Downsizing, and you had something about this trailer when we were watching it. The suspension of disbelief when he's using the vodka to fucking.
That wasn't me.
Was that not you?
That was not me.
Oh, who was that?
Might have been one of the other people that came.
I think it looks interesting though. I think it looks fun.
Yeah, I was gonna
They-
say.
they
I kind of want to see this.
The first
Yeah.
thing that made me like, all right, I kind of want to see this movie is when he goes through the procedure to get small.
And
First
then
thing he does is
lifts
lifts up
the
his
blanket
blanket
and
and looks down, and it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
like that sigh of relief. Because any guy that's gonna go through a process called downsizing,
It's gonna
That's
make
the
sure
first thing you
definitely
fucking
gonna
check.
check his dick.
I think it
And
looks
it's
like
kind of what I was wondering while I was watching it.
and I think it looks like it has a lot of heart though to it as well. For me and the way I see it. It's weird to see, and I've always said this, it's weird to see like comedy actors try to play a serious role. Because
Well,
you have people like Jason Sudeikis and Kristen Wiig in it.
well,
so-
that's kind of what I didn't like about this trailer is that I don't really know what the movie's going for. Because
Yeah.
it's almost kind of like there's some comedy there. It looks like it could be heartfelt, but then there's like this weird aspect of can you really trust what's going on with this procedure kind of thing.
Yeah, you really
I
had
don't-
no idea what's going on.
I don't know if I'm supposed to take this movie seriously or not.
The thing I'd find beautiful is if out of left field it became a horror story where there are just like bugs, birds, and a whole bunch of other things invading and killing
Attacking
them
their
all.
city.
That'd be fucking
I
funny.
actually think that would be funny.
There was a shot in it that made me want to go see it because it looked like could be some really cool cinematography in this movie when Matt Damon's kind of standing inside that dollhouse and it opens up and he's kind of
Yeah.
standing in the middle of it. That was a really cool shot.
Mhm.
That looked really cool.
Then we go into The Shape of Water, the Red Band trailer, and I am fucking confused. Does she want to fuck the fish? Are they just friends?
I want to fuck.
They
the
might
fish.
just be friends with benefits.
Right,
She's a
little bit
mute
of
that
both.
like only bonded with this weirdo and
Right,
her
apparently.
dad, grandpa, uncle creepy
Yeah.
guy.
Fish do fertilize eggs.
Right, but my thing is, I don't know.
Hey, I
My-
That Magic School Bus episode.
Right, yeah. My thing about this is that like it's a Guillermo del Toro and a lot of his shit is hit or miss for me because there's a lot of movies I do not really like.
I agree with you.
Like I like Pan's Labyrinth. I love Pan's Labyrinth. But then you have Pacific Rim where I like it just because it's giant robots fighting, but he doesn't write very well. You know what I mean? In English, like his English translations are really shit. The reason I think Pan's Labyrinth work is because he's speaking in Spanish, and so you get the depth and understanding. Like, because when you watch Crimson Peaks, his Tom Hiddleston incest movie, it's so bad. The shit is so bad, and it just bothers the shit out of me.
I agree with you.
This you get like the idea that like he's doing the sign language. I think helps, and like because she can't talk, and I think that will bring a little bit of edge to what's going on.
Right, because there's the one scene in one of the trailers where we watched where like she is working there, and the only person who is like able to understand her signing
is Octavia Spencer.
No, the black lady.
Yeah, Octavia Spencer.
Oh, is that who she is? All right, I didn't know her name. Sorry.
I think they should change the name of the movie to Helen Keller versus Swamp Thing.
No, Helen Keller fucks Swamp King.
Swamp Thing.
Whatever. He's gonna be king of the swamp as soon as he gets out. You fucking know that.
But that's the thing, like...
Dawn of the...
but that's the thing. For me, it's so weird.
I'm gonna have to release an apology.
You already stated before you were redneck. It's
true.
Oh boy.
It's just a get out of jail free card.
Oh man.
To say any insensitive thing.
We're gonna get a lot of followers now.
Or we're gonna lose our 7.
Yeah.
There's 2 reasons I want to see this movie and why I think it'll be pretty good. One, it's going back to where Guillermo del Toro's at his best, which is a straight up creature feature.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas something like Pacific Rim, I don't think it's very good because it's kind of a creature feature, but it's more of just like a straight up action movie.
Right, and he tries to put drama in an action movie that is not needed. And a Chinese robot with 3 arms that breaks right away, right, John?
So I think this is
I
going
just don't
back.
understand why it had 3 arms. Or why they needed 3 people to run the 1 extra arm. Like, does that guy just control the extra arm?
Yep.
Like, oh, this really fucking sucks.
Well, no, it's like,
What a
it
job.
snapped off the 3rd arm. Guess
Thank God
I'm useless now.
Guess
Thank
I'll
God
just
this
go
is my
sit in the
jerk-off
corner
hand.
and wait to die.
Well, I do. I think it's aesthetically pleasing, though. And I think that's the one thing. It looks grim pretty.
It looks good.
The other reason I wanted to see it is because it looks so good.
Yeah.
Like the effects and stuff, especially the creature design.
Right.
Like I really like how it looks.
It does almost look like a person wearing a costume than anything else.
Right, and I think that's awesome. I think
Is it practical effects that they're using?
for the most part, but I
Okay.
think the face is CG.
Okay, I'm fine with
Everything but that's the thing. Like I feel like facial features are okay if you're trying to match the face. Like I know you guys, a lot of you guys don't like the Planet of the Apes, but what I like about the Planet of the Apes is that facial feature, when they talk, it's talking.
Yeah.
And so that's what makes it look so human.
I'm a really big fan of like practical effects, so that makes me more interested. Like you can see like how CG can fuck up a lot of things.
Yeah.
The original trilogy? Prequels.
I don't have a problem with that. I don't mind CGI.
Hashtag the Thing remake.
Yeah.
I think that was the Thing remake's biggest fault was
The CG.
the CG.
The practical effects from the original, the second remake of The Thing
was
were-
fucking terrifying.
Made it look
Amazing.
much more gruesome, too.
Yeah.
Right, the body horror in that was fucking
I think
awesome.
movie studios need to go back to using practical effects. They look much better and almost way scarier.
And I know we've talked about this, but I think that was my biggest problem with Covenant.
Covenant actually did have practical
They
effects.
did, but you could tell which parts were super CGI.
Yeah, you
And
could tell.
that
Yeah, like I think the scenes where they're kind of still in the alien's den are really good, but then when they bring the alien like onto
Into
the
light,
ship,
yeah.
it looks really bad.
It looks bad. Like, and that's the thing. Like, you just never know. Then we go into this shitty Netflix remake for Stretch Armstrong, and I got nothing out of this besides that there are multiple Stretch Armstrongs fighting crime.
They do different things.
Yeah, one's leg stretch, one's arm stretch, one's hand stretch.
That old action figure
Yeah,
thing?
the one that
One
John
dick
got,
stretch.
the
Yeah.
one that John got addicted to eating the sugar from.
Did I?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
told us that story. You were like, yeah, man, I remember when they first came out and they had like a tear, and I just like licked the sugar. I'm like, ooh, this is really good.
Yeah, that's probably why I have diabetes. No, I never ate Stretch Armstrong. Stretch Armstrong ate my dick. I don't know. This looks fucking stupid.
Yeah, a little bit.
The only thing I can't wait for is some Rule 34ing it. Not because it's gonna attract me, but because it's gonna be fucking hilarious what people do with these in a pornographic scenario.
Lol.
Then we jump into Supernatural season 13, and goddamn, they just need to fucking end this.
They're signed on for 15 seasons,
I
so they
know.
just can't.
I know, but it's just, for me, every time I've rewatched the series, I hate Sam and Dean.
Okay,
even
so
more.
I like Supernatural, but I have a theory on why I don't really like these later seasons very much. And this is going to actually tie in a lot to why I'm not a huge fan of what we've previously discussed, Dragon Ball Super, and some other things too. So get ready, because this could get fucking intense.
I'm just not...
Okay,
We've had
so
this conversation.
a lot of these TV shows that are extending their periods for a really long time, and it's not just Dragon Ball Super that I'm talking about. It's like, I'll use a couple other animes to describe it. Naruto and Bleach too. A lot of, as they continue to go on, the only plot point that's really developing is the next big bad. And that's kind of what I'm getting from Super now that I'm starting to catch up again too. In that there really isn't a whole lot that's motivating the characters to keep going other than they have to stop the next bad guy.
I will agree with you on
I
that.
agree. I wish they would go back to hunting just stray monsters and shit. Like
that's what they were
definitely
doing
the coolest
before.
part.
The earlier seasons, they had stuff they were hunting for. They were looking for what killed their mom. They were looking for what killed Sam's girlfriend. They were looking for their dad. All of that stuff is resolved. Now they're just fighting the next big bad.
And I think Kean said it best. The series should have ended at season 5?
Season 5, after
where they
closed
killed
the gate,
Lucifer and
Yeah.
closed the gate.
After they got rid of Lucifer, it should have ended right
But
there.
it was such a big show
Right.
that they kept going for the money grab. And for a little while there, it wasn't too bad. Like,
I think I liked it up until...
I'll give it till season 7 that I fell off.
the Leviathan was where I kind of
Right.
fell off.
Leviathan
I
was
liked
where
the
fell off.
Leviathan,
I mean,
actually.
I didn't mind them,
When
but
it got
like
more into
once
the
it got
Mark of
past
Cain is
that,
where I kind of
yeah.
fell off.
Yeah. When there are some things from some of the most previous seasons that I really liked, like when they started to get into like this separate branch of the mental letters coming in. I really liked that up until it became like, oh,
They're
well,
the bad guys.
well, no, I was perfectly fine with them being the bad guys. It was until they got to like they're this super high-tech agency, and now they're questioning whether maybe they should be hunting monsters just like they do and stuff like that. It's like, no, I would have preferred it as this kind of like
MI6
inner
style.
battle between this British men of letters
See-
and Sam and Dean.
It still is a battle for the most part, but like they swayed a couple people who ended up dying.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is, I don't really like what they turned the British men of letters into, because they just ended up turning them into the next big bad.
Yeah, kind of.
I guess, I don't know. I'll watch this next season, but because I actually have enjoyed most of the seasons. I think not really the Mark of Cain. It's like right after the Mark of Cain with the darkness. Once
Yeah,
that's unleashed.
once
That
they're-
season was really weird.
Once they're fighting like God's sister, you're kind of sitting there going, "Really?
Yeah, that
Is
season
this what's
kinda,
going on?"
That season kind of made me go like, I don't know
Yeah.
about this.
The only thing I'm excited about is the Scooby-Doo Supernatural crossover. That literally...
Is that actually a thing?
Yeah, it's a thing.
That's
Are they
cool.
doing live action or cartoon?
It's cartoon.
Cartoon. I'm okay with that.
What network is it gonna be?
It's going to be on CW. It's going to be an adult cartoon.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's
Whoa.
part of the Supernatural series, right?
Yeah,
It's a crossover episode, kind of
'Cause
like where
it's-
they popped into the real world
right.
and they were the characters
Oh,
that
yeah.
played Supernatural.
Okay.
They're gonna fall into the Scooby-Doo
Or it's
dimension.
just going to be animated, and that's how it does it. Like, they don't know, because it's season 13 is for the fans.
Yeah, this is the For the Fans season.
Yeah, this is written by the fans, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
this
makes
season
me,
might be garbage.
Which makes me uncomfortable, because
could
there's
easily
some
be
weird-ass
garbage,
fans of
yeah.
Supernatural that they even called out in the show.
Well, the
I feel like they're
producers-
not going to let those people have influence.
God, I hope
Yeah, the
not.
producers and directors have already said they're taking ones they like
Right.
They're not
Yeah.
just gonna let anything go.
Which, I mean, like, it's cool. Like, you can be progressive and things like that with that kind of stuff.
But that's not really progressive. That's weird slash fiction.
Brothers being lovers is kind of
Right,
way
that's
too
what
out
I mean.
there.
That's
and-
not
right.
being progressive. That's being fucking weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's-
well, I mean, like,
That's not happening.
Castiel
in the
and
series.
Dean. Like,
I mean, if you do one episode where it's just like that, there's an awkward sexual tension, fine.
Fine.
But they solidify that Dean is a ladies' man and Castiel has no real.
yeah.
no real
Orientation.
sexuality.
And every
Yeah.
time he's formed like a real romantic bond, it's always been with like a female angel.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Like,
Female. I
Yeah.
mean, technically they don't have genders.
Right.
It's
And-
another angel, generally in a female's body.
right.
Yeah.
And so, which is very understandable. And before anyone thinks I'm going to argue with John about the super thing, I 100% agree with what John says about why he thinks super is bad. I agree that it does get really old that everything is the next big bad.
Well, there's no character motivation
Right.
behind the story continuing.
Yeah.
And my thing is, and makes me such a hypocrite because I look at it like the One Punch Man style. Because the side characters, I feel, get a lot more. Like, I like it because the side characters get a lot more build up. That was the problem with Super, was the first 3 arcs. None of the side characters really got build up. It was Vegeta and Goku being like, "Brr, we're badasses." But after that, all the side characters, like Future Trunks, it may have been the Future Trunks arc, but he was more of a side character, and he got the most build up. And the reason I like the Tournament of Power is because Gohan's getting more build up than Goku is. All the other characters later on, and the hypocrisy is that's the reason I don't like One Punch Man, is the reason I like Dragon Ball Super.
Well, to be fair, there's not a lot to be built up when the main character just wants to find something he doesn't kill in one punch.
Right, and
Yeah.
see, and I
Well,
think that's my
that's
difference.
the thing, though, is like even I see those side characters getting that build up, but I don't see reasons why. When I'm watching a series or
Yeah.
something, there has to be a character motivation as to why they're doing this, and you can't make it something like, oh, they're doing it because the universe is going to blow up.
Right, no.
That's not a character motivation.
Right. Trunks
That's
is-
they don't have a fucking choice.
Right, Trunks'
that
character
doesn't make for an
motivation.
interesting series.
Right, but Trunks' character motivation in the beginning is for that. But then at the end, his character motivation is to create the better world for himself and Mai. That's his character. It's not just to save the world. It's for his personal
That's the
gain.
whole thing that I'm saying, though, is that there really isn't any deeper character motive.
Right.
Okay, going back to some other series. Look at, like, Bleach.
See, and
Bleach, I would say, is a really good series up until, like, right after they rescue Rukia.
I think Bleach saw this
After
in the
that,
middle of
it's
Rukia.
all shit.
Right.
Because
he has no motivation.
he has no personal motivation to keep fighting these big bads other than, like,
My
there's
friends
a
are in
big
trouble.
bad, I gotta go stop the bad guys from doing bad stuff.
Right.
Look
And
at Naruto. Naruto's good up until the point of where everyone accepts him as being an okay dude.
Right.
Because that was the whole point. He wanted to prove that he's not this shitty guy who's
Right,
shitty.
For me, and I'm not saying, like, to me, Dragon Ball Super is not amazing. I don't know. I've always really enjoyed it, and I totally understand why you don't enjoy it.
Well, it's not that I don't enjoy it, it's just that I don't think it's that great of a series.
Right. And I don't think...
And that's what I'm saying about Supernatural as well,
Right.
too, is that I think it was a much better series
in the start.
in its first couple of seasons, and now it's kind of just like a slightly above mediocre
Right.
series.
But that's my same thought. Like, I've lost that thought, though, with Dragon Ball Super, because that's how I think from Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z is that supernatural lull. You know what I mean? Because I love Dragon Ball. But,
The original series?
yeah, the original
yeah.
is amazing.
I fucking
And
love
then
it.
Z is just fighting, and so is Super. And that's what I've came to, like, really enjoy about it. It just doesn't take as long to fucking finish the fight in Super than it does in Z. So, there's that.
Still takes a while.
It does.
Yeah.
Then we go into Child in Time, and I asked all the ladies that were
We
here.
missed Riverdale.
Oh, then we go into Riverdale. You guys don't watch it, right? You guys haven't seen it.
No.
So it's a crime noir from the Archie comics, and my thing is, it's enjoyable and bad at the same time, but I got connected with, like, I wonder who really did kill him, because they do throw a lot of red herrings. And this one apparently is supposed to play more of a slasher style instead of a crime noir. And so I feel like it's interesting to switch your genres from a teen crime drama to a teen horror genre. That's the only reason I wanted to bring this up. And
Alright.
so, I mean, I know it's dumb. I know it's not the Archie comics I enjoyed watching as a kid, but I accept it for as it is, and I'm going to give it a chance.
At least a short watch.
Right, and it's only 13 episodes if you guys get a chance. Like, it's dumb. Like, I'll be honest with you, it's stupid as shit, but, I mean, I found enjoyment in it. Then we jump into Child in Time, and for me, I don't know. Benedict Cumberbatch loses a kid, and then he's, like, drowning himself in a bathtub.
It's basically Benedict Cumberbatch has his child stolen, and this is him coping and asking the question, can time actually heal all wounds? Is the entire story of this.
So he's not going to go looking for his child at all?
From what we saw in the preview, no.
Right. So, I mean, I don't know. I think everyone besides Ryan can be really fucking excited about Better Watch Out, the the horror Christmas Home Alone movie.
That looked funny and weird right up until he started killing off like 30 people, and I was like, the fuck is going on?
What is that one?
Better Watch Out. It is a Christmas horror movie set in a Home Alone-esque style traps, but they actually kill people. So remember how Home Alone, we always like talk shit as an adult, like that would have killed someone?
Yeah.
He actually does shit like that, like put pencils on a fucking and make a flail and shit. And then he Home Alones a dude and then he crushes his face with the paint.
So it's basically like Saw.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
I kind of thought of it more as like You're Next.
Yeah,
as
it's
in-
like, yeah.
It looks really dumb in my opinion, but it might be entertaining enough to watch.
That's what I mean. I don't know, I find it
It's
fun.
basically Home Alone for adults,
Right.
trying to take a realistic
Yeah.
perspective.
One
on
thing I'm
things.
going to point out is I don't understand like the movie's premise, because they go from like, oh, she's talking to her boyfriend, oh, now he's her ex-boyfriend, oh, now he's coming to get her because he's angry. Suddenly they're killing like 36 dudes in this house.
No,
He
it's
makes a
understandable.
joke about
And
her
then
exes.
her too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like she died too, and I was like, the fuck is... What? Why?
So either he's rescuing her or he's killing her.
Nobody has any idea what's going on.
Yeah, it was really hard to tell.
Hopefully, some of the later trailers will shed some light on
Right. And then we go to Tragedy Girls, and God, do I fucking hate these new modern day horror movies.
that. Agreed.
Is this the one
I
where
don't
the
even
two
remember
girls
this
are
one.
going
Kill
around
people.
killing
Yeah,
people
they're
it's
for
killing
like
likes?
girls
people.
going around
Oh,
killing
this
people.
one.
Like, this movie is every millennial bullshit that just makes me mad about fucking... Oh, we gotta get so many likes. We'll just be these sleuths that actually are murdering people trying to figure out the murders.
Well, it's supposed to be like Scream.
Right, and I don't think you can do Scream anymore. Like, they tried with Scream 4, and it
Well,
fucking
they're
tanks.
okay,
they're
but the-
trying to do Scream, but in a different way.
But the motive for it, for likes, is what turns me off to it.
Yeah, like,
You're not
like-
supposed to be turned on to the idea they're murderers.
No, just the whole, like, social media being the
The
aspect.
premise
Yeah.
of it all.
I don't know. I think it's one you're probably gonna have to watch to,
Right.
Form
And
much
I don't
of an
know.
opinion
I don't know. Just, it looks weird.
because I don't think this is one of those movies where you're supposed to be like, I'm totally on their side.
Right. And then we go to the Liam Neeson movie, The Commuter. And it's basically Taken on a train.
yeah, pretty much.
Traken.
Taken. Then we jump into All the Money in the World, the new Mark Wahlberg movie. And this movie's weird because it's based on a true story about a dude who wouldn't give his grandson the bail money because terrorists took him.
Ransom money.
Ransom money.
Yeah.
So, I mean, fucking hate that kind of story. Like, you're a dick.
Well, I mean,
Well, like, from
There's-
what we got was he's not even his kid, he's like his married-in kid.
Right.
So, like, I don't
It doesn't
know.
make it any better.
there's
No.
a lot. See, I'm really interested too because there's a lot of underlying tones as to why that's not exactly an unmoral thing to do. Because
Right.
it goes into the idea of like you don't negotiate with terrorists, you don't give them what they want. I mean, it's just like in real kidnapping scenarios when you're working with the police. Yes, they'll bring a bag full of money to the meetup, but they're also bringing a shitload of cops.
And
Right.
weapons.
Right. And now we get to the real news, and next year's reboot of Halloween franchise is apparently moving its targeted release date from mid-October to Halloween night.
Alright.
And the original Halloween star Jamie Lee Curtis is confirmed to return for the year's sequel, reprising her iconic role. So, with that in mind, I do have an image of Jamie Lee Curtis behind. God damn it, John.
Wasn't me.
Behind Michael Myers lurking behind her, and he's like, "I'm coming for you, bitch."
Right.
I feel
I've
so
already seen
sorry
this
for her.
picture. so-
Halloween Michael Myers or Austin Powers Michael
Halloween,
Halloween.
Michael Myers.
Yeah, baby.
Not
This is
interested.
Michael
Yeah.
Myers. This
Not
is
interested
Michael Myers.
anymore.
The fucking Baby Driver reference. I asked
God.
Michael Myers masks. I got them.
This is Mike Myers, isn't it? No, not that Mike Myers.
Then we jump into just some Sony Venom news. Production has been pushed back to October for the solo Venom movie.
Is
Yes.
this movie ever gonna come out?
You know
No.
what? Who knows?
Maybe.
How
Please,
you-
God, no.
You're not even.
No, because ever since they announced that the director of Zombieland is going to be directing it and hinting that it's going to be like Zombieland, fuck this movie.
Wow.
Yeah, that does sound weird.
Yeah, I
I'll
don't
still
know.
watch it. I don't.
Like,
I'll
I'm gonna
probably
watch it,
watch
but
it.
I'm not as
Same.
excited for it anymore.
Well, honestly, that could be a good thing, because what if it
The
does
lower
still
your
turn out to be
expectations,
exactly
the
what you
lower
want
your
it to be?
Expectations.
I'll
Right.
watch it just because I love Venom, but like I'm not holding my breath.
Right.
All right, guys. Are you ready to have John get mad?
Uh-oh.
Probably.
Welcome to the Star Wars news section, everybody.
Oh
The
boy.
next
Yay,
7
my
stories
favorite.
are Star Wars news
Hold
about what's happening in the new Star Wars universe.
Ray has a mullet.
Jay does have a mullet.
Yeah.
I'm Jay
But-
Oldenkamp.
I'm Jay Oldenkamp. I think it's still going to be a good movie. Those AT-ATs with gorilla arms.
I think it looks really good. It has potential. I think that if they go in the right direction and don't make it like the last one, it could be good.
But I really liked the last one.
I can agree with that, actually. If they don't do the same thing that they did with Force Awakens,
But guess who's the
Yeah.
new director?
I know.
The Force Awakens has Colin Trevorrow leaves. J.J. Abrams will return, not just to direct, not just to
I
direct.
thought he was just coming back for 9.
Not just to direct 9.
Yeah,
John.
but he's just doing 9.
He's writing 9.
8's the next one.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
Next
we
one.
still got a chance that the next one's gonna be good.
Look who's here!
Hey,
Just in
come
time.
sit
Time
down
for
and
Star
talk
Wars.
Star Wars.
So I hear, yes, J.J. Abrams is taking over for Colin Trevorrow since there's a difference in direction of views and how they want to.
Yeah, he probably told them that he didn't just want to remake fucking Return of the Jedi.
Oh, he's definitely gonna return. Like J.J.
This
Abrams is
just
gonna make
heartens me a
Jedi.
lot.
Because J.J. Abrams did such a good job with The Force Awakens.
I really enjoyed The Force Awakens.
Yeah, we know you did.
Called it.
Scrub.
When I initially watched The Force Awakens, I was bothered by how much it resembled A New Hope, but it didn't take away the movie experience for me until the second time I watched it.
And
When
I think
watched
that's
through-
what happened with me.
When I watched through it the second time, it was literally as if I had just like started watching the fucking original trilogy again, and it really it made me hate the movie
Right.
because
Yeah.
it felt like they weren't even like trying to make a remake. It just felt like they were blatantly trying to copy the storyline.
Right, and I understand that 100%. And it's just for me when I think about this, and it's like the thing that makes me even more worried about this movie is that this is its 4th major rewrite.
Yeah.
That's the thing that gets.
Yeah,
It's been
Really?
rewritten 4 times. Like major rewrites means like the whole Spec Ops script rechanged and repurposed 4 times.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Rogue One went through a bunch of changes,
That's
and it's
true.
so far it's the best.
But it
one
wasn't.
of
But
the
it
new
wasn't major.
resurgence
It was
of Star
just.
Wars
It was
movies.
just. It was just. It's
It was
scenes and
reshot.
Reshot. There's a difference though. This hasn't even reached production,
Well,
and these are the numerous rewrites that are happening.
The first rewrite's because Carrie Fisher died, which that makes sense there.
Kinda
These
have
ones,
to.
yeah.
Unless you want to use that CGI again.
No, I think it's too soon for that, but
Not soon enough.
Not soon enough.
God damn.
She
Wow.
could be prettier.
Oh.
no.
Wow.
The less CGI, the better.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Star
like-
Wars
Yeah.
has already proven.
I think
My-
that was one of my biggest problems with The Force Awakens was we're gonna go back to practical effects, but we're gonna have some CG. The CG in The Force Awakens was shit.
Right.
Those fucking ball monsters with the tentacles on them, that was some of the worst CG I've ever
Right,
seen in a
but-
major movie.
Here's the thing.
especially now.
Here's the thing that is making me maybe second guess 8 though, is it feels Return of the Jedi-esque that they keep plugging what
You mean
plorgs are.
9?
No, 8, the new movie that's coming out. we're
Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi, which is making me, because they're marketing those cute little plorg things.
Oh, okay.
And that's the thing that's bothering me, that I don't.
So
think,
like in Episode 6, how they marketed the Ewoks.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and this is why I just still think that these movies aren't, to me. And this is someone who doesn't love Star Wars, but likes the old Star Wars, and I like some of the lore of it. But my thing about it is it is just become a cash grab. Like, they have BB-98 now, the evil BB-8, and the only reason I'm bringing this up is because, like I said, my work has all these fucking Funko Pops that are coming out. And there's all this thing, and I'm just like, you are just really trying to market that. Like, you know what I mean?
Have you seen those videos of Mark Hamill just absolutely ripping the new Star Wars series?
Right.
Really?
Oh my god, he's not happy with them. He hates them.
I gotta take a look at that.
He has a line in one of them where he says, and I quote, "Just because something makes a lot of money does not mean that it's good."
Right.
And he used Transformers as a comparison to these new Star Wars movies.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Right, and that's my thing.
DC.
Right, DC. But my thing is, the people who are Lucasfilms is now run by this lady named, Karen Titterson or something like that.
I think this is my biggest issue with the new Star Wars movies. I love that they put the old characters in there, but looking back on it, I think they should have made the choice of either we're going to go back and focus on those old characters, or we're not going to have them in there at all. I don't think they should have put them in there at all. I think they should have went so far ahead that
they should have
those
got rid
characters
of
were just gone.
the Skywalker era was done.
Yeah.
In 6,
Kathleen Kennedy.
Kathleen Kennedy, she's a bitch, by the way. She the way she's
Yeah, she could be a nice lady.
sure, yeah, she's fucking up my childhood, so fuck her. But no, for real, it really bothers me. And it goes into fucking Harrison Ford saying this. He was in an interview. He's like, though he doesn't write off possible return to the Star Wars universe, Harrison Ford says he'd rather not, in favor of doing something new. Which I fucking understand. You're dead. Why do they want you to keep coming back?
One of the reasons that I liked
Flashbacks, I guess,
Rogue
but-
One so much was because it was a new cast of characters
Right.
that I've never seen
Yeah.
before for me to get attached to, with none of the old characters in there except for minor ones.
Yeah, I love getting attached to people that die.
Well, it was neat to see Tarkin.
I mean-
which it makes sense though. Tarkin's just part of
And
that.
speaking of death and darker tones, this is one of the. I don't want them to redo Empire, but I would have liked to at least see them pay homage to it in tone of the
Right.
movie. Don't
Yeah.
remake the story, but go for some sort of tone that's similar. I like the darker tone.
Right.
My biggest
I
fear
mean,
is...
even Empire was still really fun for being the darker out of the
Yeah,
I
three.
think if they
Right.
want to make this the Star Wars, these next two, the Star Wars that leaves an impact on people, that's what they're going to have to do up until the end.
My biggest fear is that they're going to have Kylo Ren be redeemed and be a good guy. I don't want that. I want to see him
No,
be
they
bad
say
and
they
die.
say that Kylo Ren's going to be worse than Vader.
There's one thing that I'm hoping for with these next two movies is that they do a better job with Kylo Ren and make him
Less of a bitch.
less of a bitch, and something more to actually be feared instead of just looking at him like he's a bratty teenager.
Right. Because he's an adult in this, and that's what gets me mad.
Mhm.
So then we jump into, after 2 months of shooting, the director Josh Boone is nearly ready to call it wrap on initial filmography of The New Mutants, which is a horror movie set in the X-Men universe.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets me really excited the way they play it out. And I don't know. I hope it's good. The cast seems solid to me, but you just never know. Then we jump into our Marvel news, and comic legend Stan Lee believes Marvel is working to regain the film rights to the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, and other characters.
Oh, I
That
thought you
would
were
be
going to
nice.
say he
I don't
died
think it's
for a
ever
second.
going to.
I too.
Wow.
I would agree with that. But no, I think that's
I
actually
feel like
great.
he didn't even have to say that for me to just infer that, yeah, they're probably trying to get those back.
But
Yeah.
money.
Well,
Yeah.
but I think it's nicer though, since then you don't have to do the stupid. They're Inhumans,
But
so they're not.
dude, Fox is gonna have a fucking death grip
Yeah,
on
they are.
those rights.
Oh, yeah.
They're not giving
They're
that
holding
shit
X-Men
away.
by the balls.
Right.
I
they're
could
not.
see them giving up
Especially
Fantastic
after
Four though,
Logan.
because
They
the
should make a
Fantastic
better
Four movies
Fantastic
they
Four.
did make were not successful, even financially.
I liked the first one that came
1
out.
and 2 were actually financially successful. The newest one was
Was not.
Was
That
not
That was the one
tanked.
that was.
But my thing is,
That movie
you're-
was 2.5 hours of bullshit.
Yeah.
10 minutes of action.
My thing
Yeah, that
about
only
this
was
is, dude,
30
you are
minutes
not going to see it. You are not going to see X-Men and Fantastic Four being in the Marvel universe in
a while.
decade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Especially X-Men.
Right.
X-Men's a cash
It is
cow
a
for
big,
Fox.
huge
right,
cash
and
cow.
with Wolverine, you know they're gonna do like
Oh, yeah,
as much
especially
as they're
with
like
Logan.
Wolverine is done, they're fucking gonna do something with Wolverine.
I
He's gonna be back within a
I
decade.
don't think so.
No,
They
he's
will-
gonna be
They'll
back.
probably recast him and
Yeah.
do a new movie.
Right,
with him,
and
but
but they're not gonna get Hugh Jackman, but they're gonna do something with Wolverine, and you know
Probably.
it. You can't tell me they're not.
I hope they don't though, because
But they would.
I'll only be able to see Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Nobody else is gonna
The
do
guy
as
who
good
played
a
Matt
job.
Sweeney or Pornstache in Orange is the New Black could pull it off.
Turns out they
Yeah.
hired Johnny Depp.
I
He's
really
not
don't
the-
like that casting.
But that's the thing. He would play. That's the thing. I don't think so because Matt Sweeney is such a like the characters he's played has been so anti-Logan.
That's true. They've
Esque.
been-
He's more Sabretooth. If
What I
anything.
think I would rather see them do is continue the Logan legacy with X-23.
that would be
Right.
cool
Yeah.
to see
I would be
that.
totally okay with that.
Right. Give me more tears, Fox.
God.
Because
Well, not
actually,
necessarily even that. Like, just grow her up into the.
I wanted to bring this up though. Logan has now been sent for Oscar screenings.
Think about
Two critics.
really.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Was
Not
that
even
just within the window still? Like I thought it was
Any
Oh,
movie
Logan.
can come into the
Oh,
Oscar.
Oscar.
Any movie can come into the Oscar screening.
okay.
Like, just because you're not a movie in Oscar season doesn't mean you don't have a chance.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So this is a very interesting thing. So there's a possibility they're gonna win the throwaway Oscars, where like you don't get a thing, you just get like best makeup effect and shit.
I don't care. Give him something. I love that movie.
So there's that. And Stanley revealed he has filmed his cameo roles for 5 upcoming MCU entries, up to and including 2019 Avengers 4. They're holding out that he's probably going to die sometime because they're like, hey Stan, we didn't make the script for Inhumans yet, but do you want to like film a scene where you're with like the Inhumans real quick
Before you die.
before you die?
Right.
How
weird
weird
is
is that
getting
going to
there?
be when there's eventually Marvel movies with no Stan Lee cameo?
CGI Stanley.
Yeah, CGI Stanley.
I'll
Where
be
they pull
really
the Daredevil.
I will be too. What did they do with Daredevil?
They
won't
they
be really
put
sad.
just a pic. Yeah, they put a picture of Stan Lee just somewhere around. Like
I'll be slightly sad.
I'll be
sad.
I'll be morose.
As somebody who started this entire thing, I'll be sad. Like, looking at Stan Lee as the guy who pretty much, or one of the guys who pretty much started Marvel from being nothing to what it is today.
I will give you that.
Well,
But there's
and-
just a lot of things that happened throughout that time with
There
Marvel.
are, but you
That-
gotta
But
look at
he's one of
at
the,
the beginning.
yeah.
He was there at the beginning. still.
I'm not knocking you on that, but there's like yes, you grandfathered sin, but you also stole a lot of concepts from Jack Kirby.
Yeah.
So like that's
Who's
where I
gonna
stand.
give us redeemable parts of shitty Marvel movies, like the Amazing Spider-Man? The only good part was the fight scene in the library because
'Cause
Stan
Stan Lee
Lee's
was
in
just
there.
the
You're
genius.
not paying attention.
Right. So when we go into the Suicide Squad, Margot Robbie reveals she isn't sure what her next DC Extended Universe movie is going to be, which
Bullshit.
makes me think, no, Jared
Oh,
Leto. has,
I have no clue what movie they're gonna put me in next, even though it's pretty
Is it the
obvious.
Sirens movie?
no, it's
Harley
Harley
Quinn
Quinn
movie.
and Harley Quinn and the Joker, but Jared Leto had no idea either. Like he's like Sam Jackson. He's
That's
like,
probably because they're like, maybe we shouldn't cast him as the Joker again, so we're just gonna not tell him.
here's some like up things because I really like the Kingsman movie. I don't know if you guys did.
Oh, I did.
I did.
But
It's really
Kingsman
fun to watch
director
it.
Matthew Vaughn confirms he's had talks with Warner Brothers about helming Man of Steel 2. That makes me excited.
That's kind of
That'll
cool.
be interesting.
I know you like the dark Superman.
No, but Superman's not supposed to be dark. Like,
I
that's
like
dark.
it a lot.
but-
I don't. This,
But-
Shut the fuck up with that. There are
That's why I
storylines
hate-
where Superman's dark.
Yes, but
Everybody
how-
that thinks that Superman's a goody-goody two-shoes that doesn't kill people and isn't dark has obviously not read much of his comic book history.
No, I'm not
'cause he
saying
has
he
plenty of
doesn't
dark
kill people.
storylines.
Yes, but
I
like
mean,
he's
he
not
kills
like,
aliens and shit.
it's not really like a
They're not
dark
evil.
Superman. It's a Superman's a more human kind of character
Right.
in that storyline.
My favorite's still.
It's
in-
literally about him like struggling with the idea of being a god in a world full of humans and wondering if he should intervene. That's way more human than, oh my god, I'm super strong. I should destroy their cities while protecting them from other aliens.
Martha!
And everybody's still going to love me for some reason, except for one fucking bald rich guy.
Yeah.
I liked the Brandon Routh Superman better than Henry Cavill's.
Is that the Superman Returns?
Yeah.
That
I
movie's
really-
garbage.
I
Get the fuck
like
out of here.
Immediately shit on Jay for his opinion.
I really liked that movie. I still do.
It's
God.
fine, Jay. It's okay. Everyone's allowed to have bad taste. It's fine.
For me,
I
it's
get-
a lot.
2.5 hours of nothing.
This is my son. Really? You sure that she wouldn't punch out of her vagina like you? Because he threw that piano pretty
He
far.
did.
I don't know. I like the idea of Superman like actually having some thought behind him. I think
That
that
does make sense, though.
I think that the Supermans that have been around previously, where
We're
he's just
too
this
Boy Scout.
American wonder
Right.
child kind of thing, I think that's just really lazy writing.
I will give you his humanization in the movie. I just don't like how they and
Well,
when
I
Batman and versus Superman came in.
I think
Yes.
the problem with Batman versus Superman is Batman versus Superman. It's not. It's not Man of Steel.
Right.
That is the reason that that's a bad.
Right.
movie.
I don't hate Man of Steel.
See-
I enjoy it enough. My only gripe with Man of Steel was the change of Pa Kent's character. That was my only gripe. The gripe that I had where Pa Kent would never tell Clark not to save those people. That was my only gripe because he didn't know Jor-El. Jor-El wasn't his dad. Like, and I've made that joke about the Star-Lord thing, but it's the very true thing that, like, just Pa Kent would have told him, you should have saved all those people. Because that's the moral compass that Superman was raised in.
Yeah.
That was my only gripe with that movie. Everything else, I just didn't like the pacing or anything like that. Gil?
You should have given him an umbrella when he was being sucked up by the
God
piano.
damn it.
Could have
Nobody's
been
out
Mary
tonight.
Poppins, y'all.
Oh my god.
That's your only one.
No.
You were doing so well.
See, I think you think that Batman vs Superman's like a bad movie partially because they're both like kind of murder.
They are brooding dickholes in that
They
movie.
are.
I think that's not the problem with it. I think the problem is that they didn't give them a good enough reason to fight each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Besides,
Well, that's the
like,
thing.
Well, my
Superman's
thing
a
is,
threat 'cause he causes
Superman,
damage.
but
It
that's,
goes back to the name of the movie. If you hadn't even called it Batman vs Superman, people wouldn't have gone into that movie expecting a Batman vs
I would
Superman
have liked
fight.
it if they would have just called it World's Finest.
And so
That
I
would've
think
been better,
if
yeah.
literally they could have just called it Dawn of Justice, and people would have went into the movie and been like, "Oh, Batman and Superman are going to meet up. I wonder what's going to happen." And then then they end up fighting for a little while, and you're like, "Wow, that's kind of cool. They fought, and now they're not fighting."
And now
But
they're screaming
Superman-
about
You
My
call
thing
it
is-
Batman versus Superman. You go into the movie expecting it to be a movie about a fight between Batman versus Superman, and they fight for like 2.5 minutes.
Right. And Nightwing director Chris McKay reveals that what Tony aims for to establish for the crime fighter's first solo movie, he wants a badass action-packed movie with real stunts.
No, no, no,
I don't
Alright.
no.
I don't know about
There it is. Back to the...
All right,
I don't know. I don't know. I'm a little for
I'm
it
for
and
it.
against
Let's do it.
Maybe they should ask Tom Cruise about real stunts.
No. I don't want to see Tom
And
Cruise
after
as
the
that.
whole Joker thing, Darren Aronofsky's throwing his hat. He's like, I pitched something like this to DC a while back, and I feel like they're stealing my idea. Shut the fuck up.
You mean Jared Leto's?
No, the new Joker origin where he's like
Oh.
in the 80s. Like, I hate people who are like, well, I had this idea. Do you know how many nerds on the internet were like that when they're like, I wrote Batman versus Superman before you guys thought of Batman versus Superman.
Well, if
This
he
is
wrote
how
the-
I
Told
would
them
have
that the
done it.
writing
If you
in
wrote the
Batman
Martha
vs Superman
thing.
is shit.
The Martha story. That's
Sounds
the
more like a
Right.
fan fiction.
Right. And,
I wrote the League of Marthas
And then they
far
kissed.
before
DC just picked it up.
You heard it here first.
And I'm glad that they stole my idea. I want to see that movie.
I'm glad DC stole my idea that John Cena should be Shazam.
Fuck you.
I would not be
Who do you
glad.
want as Shazam, Brian?
Nobody. That
Marvel.
movie doesn't even need to be made.
Do you
It's a
remember
dumbass
that when
idea
we
for a
talked about
movie.
that when we first
Yeah.
talked about
So
Shazam?
did
John
I.
Cena was in the. I was like, they didn't think of any casting like John Cena as Shazam.
That's a fucking terrible casting.
And then we read the news last week, and Ryan's
Yep.
face just fucking broke.
I saw what
Yeah.
you tagged him and it was like, lol.
I hope to God every single copy of that movie somehow ends up winding getting erased so it never comes out.
Or ends
No,
up
Fuck
ET
that
game.
movie.
I hope that
Fuck
movie.
that
Buried in the desert.
I hope that movie ends up being such a critical failure just because of John Cena's acting.
God, he's such
they
a bad
basically
actor.
decide
He's
to.
gonna
They
play a
basically
child. He's gonna
decide
play
to
a
just
man-child, so that
wipe
works out
Shazam
perfect.
does.
on
It's
He was
Jones.
alright in Trainwreck. What was that?
Because it was a train wreck?
Yeah, because he was only there for what, 20 minutes? Tops?
Yeah.
To be honest, I didn't see it, so I can't really
Right.
say anything.
Hashtag
Yeah.
professional wrestlers
He was in
are
Daddy's
not
Home.
decent actors.
He was
find
in
it
that for about
hilarious.
5 minutes.
I know.
He was
I find
only
it
in that for like
hilarious
the
that they
end
came
scene,
out with
wasn't
a
he?
special
Yeah.
John Cena edition.
For like
What,
5
if it ever
seconds.
comes out on DVD,
Where you can't see him?
where you can't see him.
And you just hear his line.
The only way I'll be okay with the casting is if they cast him for the movie and then they don't actually shoot him in the movie.
Right?
Because
All of Shazam's scenes are off scene. You'd be like, fucking beautiful. I'm totally okay with this.
Patty Jenkins will return for the 2019 sequel of Warner Brothers' hit Wonder Woman and getting a higher pay raise, about the same as Zack Snyder did for Batman vs. Superman.
I'm okay with
This is super big because not many female directors get this, so...
And also, like, Wonder Woman was way better than Batman vs. Superman. But that's not saying much, though.
It's well deserved. She
You
directed
were
the
not
only
listening
good
to what
DC
Lindsay's
movie, so-
gripes were, did you? During
I, know,
that
I
phone?
was listening to it. She was like, the whole with the
Thigh
leg jiggles. Like,
jiggle.
oh my god.
Wait, what?
Like, women who felt empowered were like, Wonder Woman's thighs jiggle in the movie and things like that. And Lindsay's like,
What?
these people
Because
are fucking
that's
ridiculous.
real.
Because it's
Real
real.
women's thighs jiggle.
And Lindsay was like
attention.
looking
Yeah,
at
they
this,
do.
like Lindsay was,
The guys
yeah,
say
they
lives,
do.
right?
Lindsay,
Yeah, they do.
yeah, they do. I'm agreeing, Knuckles.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Brr, brr. No, she was getting pissed when people were saying that. She's like, "Oh, thighs fucking jiggle. Deal with it, you fucking assholes." I'm like, "Thank you." And then we go into that boy from Gotham is like, "I want to be Damian Wayne in the movies, guys."
I don't know.
He's
who
already
you're talking
almost
about,
wearing a
so.
GIMP suit, the new season. It
I'm
looks
against
like.
Gotham. I hate
Oh, that
Gotham.
Fox series?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Fuck that
watch it
kid.
because it's entertainingly
Go to
bad.
hell. You're not a good actor.
Right. So
was
then
pretty
we're gonna
cool,
get
though.
out of all
Drone
that
was
fun news,
yeah.
and we're gonna go into Anthony Muschietti is recruited to to direct the Robotech movie with writer Jason Fuchs from the Wonder Woman movie to write it. So Robotech was an old anime that was trying to adapt into America in the 90s with really, really bad. It was basically more violent Gundam, but because they were trying to market
cool.
it to a children's audience, they really toned down the violence.
That's
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping.
So it's a really violent Gundam that's not very violent.
Yeah.
Not in America. In Japan, it was. In
Yeah.
Japan, Japan, it was for adult audiences. So
So it was a porn.
Kind of, yeah.
So
Gundam
tentacles.
is already really violent.
I thought you were gonna say Gundam is already a porn.
I
You're
bet
not
you-
wrong.
That too.
It's true.
It's robot porn.
Disney announces the release dates of 3 live-action films. Aladdin will be here at 05-2019. Christopher Robin will be 08-2018, as well as the movie adaptation of Artemis Fowl.
Yes.
See-
Wait, Disney's doing Artemis Fowl?
Oh my
Yeah, they're making Artemis Fowl.
That'll be cool.
Oh my god,
Yes!
we talked about this in that one podcast, and I said I wanted Artemis Fowl as a movie
Yeah.
series. It's happening,
I
guys. Something I wanted
really-
is happening.
I really hope they don't
They
screw it up.
must be
That's my
listening.
They
to
must
you.
be confirmed. They're listening.
They're listening.
Artemis Fowl sounds okay to me, but I'm not on board with Aladdin and Christopher Robin.
I want
What if
to see
Aladdin-
the
I would rather have
live-action
Aladdin than Artemis.
Aladdin-
I don't know why they're making
Fuck
all
you,
these
Eli.
I don't like
popular,
Artemis Fowl.
wonderful Disney movies
Get out of
live
here.
action. I mean,
Get out of
Well,
here.
he's gonna touch your screen, but I think it's
I'm
Yeah,
actually
go
trying to
right
say
ahead.
something super smart
do it.
here. Can we
I'm
give
gonna
him
cut
the chance?
myself.
We're
Wait,
not-
yeah.
YouTube,
something
shut the
smart.
fuck up.
I've done that.
Gil's actually trying to say something sincere and not a shitty joke. Go on.
Alright.
Gil.
Gil, I don't care
try.
about your opinion.
Go on.
Thank you,
Gil.
Eli. You get me.
Gil, go on.
I know that it's fantastic that they're bringing all these older Disney movies into a new way, bringing him into a new light with live action. But there's also the chance that they could fuck up real bad, and that's
That's
just
true.
not good.
Yeah.
Cinderella.
I mean, just stick with what you know. They're all about the animated. That's what draws people in.
If you're wondering why they're doing this,
Money.
it's
Cash
because that and they don't have any new ideas.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
out of ideas, so they're remaking their new shit in a new light.
That's why there's
But-
Pixar.
And it's
also.
wonderful, and there are chances where they succeed, but the off chance that they do fail, it's gonna turn out bad.
Yeah, if
Live
they
action
fail, it's
Frozen's
gonna
coming.
fail bad.
Please shut the fuck up.
Wait.
That I will watch.
What?
Wait, what?
It's
Live
gonna be
action
hot as
Frozen.
fuck.
Oh
No.
god.
You're right.
Alright.
Unless they're like
Cast Emma Watson again. I don't give a fuck.
Disney sets Anna Kendrick to star in Nicole as daughter of Santa Claus. I think this is supposed to be a spin-off from the Santa Claus Tim Allen movies.
No.
What? Am I the only one here that likes those movies?
The first one,
I kind of enjoyed the second one. The third one, I don't give a shit.
Usually I end up being the one that hates everything.
You did say
I don't think
Kendrick,
so. We could talk about the
I mean,
third one.
I love Anna Kendrick. I will watch whatever she's in. Or out.
You pitch.
Something. Elf is a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
Elf is too.
Elf is a good
You've
movie.
seen Elf for like all three of them?
I like the
They're
first.
pretty
two.
good.
I like Tim Allen. What can I say?
Alright, I agree with you.
You
I
must
like
love
Tim
Home
Allen, but he was
Improvement,
not great in those.
I think I've only seen the third one.
That's why.
The first
that's
one was
what
PG-13.
makes them
I
great.
will
right?
say that like
No, PG.
they're
PG?
pretty.
Oh.
The second and third ones are pretty dumb. I can't really remember the order of the two. Which one is the one where he creates the?
Second.
That's the second one.
Yeah.
That one's really fucking weird.
I mean,
The
I can
robot one?
appreciate a good
Yeah.
fart
Yeah.
joke.
Right.
Yeah.
In the third
Oh,
one,
man.
when the reindeer farts, it made me laugh my ass off.
Oh yeah.
A good fart joke is like the only thing I appreciate.
Mike Myers is set to make an appearance in the Queen biopic Bohemian Rhapsody.
The Halloween guy or
No.
the Austin?
Whoa.
Did you see the guy, the actor who was
Yeah.
playing him?
Oh,
That looks
yeah, we showed
really
him.
Oh,
good.
yeah.
That's
It's gonna
how
be
they
in-
end up promoting
it's
the
gonna be
new
Michael
Halloween.
Myers.
Yeah,
They
we even
just
said
have
he was
Michael
AIDS
Myers in
skinny.
the
That's how
background.
like
Yeah,
good he
Rami
looks.
Malek looks
Probably so.
amazing. That's what-
Ryan breaking again after that joke.
Oh no.
It's not as good as Ass Wong.
Fresh off of Its Heels Mammoth opening weekend, another
Wait,
Stephen-
what's heels?
Its Heels.
What's heels?
It,
Oh my Fuck you, Gil.
that was your joke. See, that would have redeemed you, you piece of shit.
You carried that on for 2 days. We were discussing to go see it, and I was getting pissed. I wouldn't even
See what?
respond to your messaging. See it? Motherfucker, you
Tell back.
Did you guys get that picture I sent?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
God.
The problem is that it has changed, and I'm not what it is anymore.
What?
Show
I
me.
gotta see this picture.
I haven't seen it.
God.
either.
We'll
Let's keep
find
going.
it.
Fresh on the heels of the movie's massive. God damn it! Another Stephen King story gets a feature treatment, and it's suffers the little
Suffer the little
Suffer
children.
the Little Children. So I'm going to give you a little brief plot synopsis. Apparently, it's a horror movie.
Yeah.
Miss Emily
Shocker.
Sidley teaches third grade. On the particular day while she's teaching a spelling, she gets the you gotta read this, I can't fucking read it.
Gets the disconcerting feeling that one of her students is staring at her. She turns around and notices that Robert, the quietest student, has his gaze fixed on her. During the following week, Miss Sydney eventually punishes Robert for her suspicions. Robert taunts her by asking her if she wants to see him change. Which he does. Whether it really happened or was a figment of her imagination is not exactly explained, and terrifies the teacher, who runs screaming and is nearly run down by a bus.
Okay, so basically it's a psychological thriller.
Yeah.
God damn it, I hate it when they do this.
It's a good.
No, like when something by someone, they make it into a movie and it's successful, so then they're just like, let's make more of his stuff, and then it ends up
Stephen
not being
King's-
nearly as good.
Stephen King's stuff has been being made into movies for
For a long time.
Yeah.
Like Carrie was the first. No, wait,
Yeah,
Carrie
it's
was Shining.
So
Shining.
Shining. Okay.
and it's so hit and miss that it's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, it is very hit and miss. I
Yes.
agree with you.
I forgot what I was looking for.
The it meme.
Oh yeah. So,
Did you look at other
guys,
memes? Like,
remember
ooh.
we were talking about that Hellboy? They just released
boy.
images of that.
He looks
Hellboy.
really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he does
he
look
does.
cool.
Yeah.
He
looks
looks.
swole AF.
He's
Yeah.
Right.
I did not imagine that guy to be swollen.
No, I did not.
either. Like that was the thing.
Rip
that-
Because
Yeah.
the Stranger
Good
Things,
shit.
it looks like a fat
Pass
guy.
that to
but-
Eli.
Yeah,
or
he-
look at it
he was
also if
fucking
you haven't
ripped.
seen it already.
Right, and it's fucking intimidating.
Like I can't
Yeah.
tell the difference between him and
And I think that was the one thing someone pointed out. I'm like, I think that's a good thing.
yeah, that
Yeah, they
is.
look very similar. I am totally
I just want
okay
to point
with
out
that.
what Braden said though. Braden,
God.
you can't. You're too young to be like it's too early to remake things. Fuck you, Braden.
No, it's not.
No,
I
it's
remember.
not.
Have you seen how many Alfreds we've had in Batman?
Right?
Although he looks almost exactly like the old Hellboy.
He
Because
does.
I remember seeing that picture and I was like, "Is that Ron Perlman?"
Right,
And
and
I
that's
looked
the thing
closer
that,
and I
like-
was like, "Oh no, and that's."
I
not
was
Ron
actually
Perlman.
kind of upset that Ron Perlman didn't get the casting for it, so
Yeah,
works
his
for
face
me.
is just perfect for that role.
Exactly. His voice too, actually. I like
The
it.
Hellboy movie brings Daniel Day Kim on board as a major Ben Domino, replacing Ed Skrein. And Daniel Day Kim is like, "Good job, Ed Skrein. We need more Asian actors." And I'm like, Daniel Day Kim, that's very understandable, but you're playing a side character, so it kind of just throws the purpose of needing more Asian actors.
Yeah.
Because he's not playing it.
Yeah, he's not playing a major role. And I've always just made that point. Like, I mean, that's great. That like, whatever. Like,
Whatever
it still
happens.
takes off the diversity. This is just because when
I've
we-
always kind of argued that. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but I've always kind of argued that
fuck you.
I think diversity in movies is important,
Right.
but I don't think forcing that point is
Right.
a good way to
My
show
thing
it.
about this is just like for that character, it really doesn't matter whether he was Asian or not.
Yeah.
No.
What matters is his fucked up backstory and why he was transformed. Like
Well,
that was my thing.
A lot of it has to do with like the original artist's integrity too. Like I think it is important to be like when you're adapting this for something new to look at the idea of having an Asian actor.
Yeah.
But if it's something that you don't think is important in your adaptation of the media, then it's not important because this is your adaptation of it. Yes, you're making it for other people to digest, but you got to look at being an artist and taking something that exists already and making it your own in some way as well. You can't have everything being completely faithful or you're just making a bland copy.
Right, and this is very understandable. Now, I don't know if you remember Dan when we interviewed Dan talking about Strangers in Paradise.
Yeah.
So they're going to make the Wonder Woman writer and director Angela Robinson is developing Strangers in Paradise, and the plot is just very simple, just that first part.
Okay, the story primarily concerns the difficult relationship between two women, Helen Francine Peters, referred to as Francine throughout the series, and Katina Mary, or Kachu, as they call her,
Bless her.
Chovansky, and their friend David Quinn. Francine concerns Kachu, her best friend. Kachu is in love with Francine. David is in love with Kachu.
I choose
the
you.
relationship with Kachu herself is deeply conflicted over.
So, and I think
I
that's
just sneezed a lot.
That entire thing
Max,
sounds
you need a tissue? Come here, cut you.
convoluted as fuck.
Yeah, basically it's a love triangle where one chick loves another chick, but a dude loves the chick that loves a chick.
But
And she can't decide if she's a lesbian or not.
And I only gave you the brief synopsis. Dan
always
has
be
has put a lot of more input in our interview, and I can't remember it. And I didn't
Listen
wanna,
to it in the link
slaughter
below.
Right. Listen to
We'll
it in the link
find it.
below. But it's a very it has hints of noir to it as well. So, and I think I that's what I like. I like noir takes on
Same.
things. So then we go into 65-year-old star Liam Neeson insists he's too old to keep headlining action films.
No.
Moment of silence.
Yay!
God damn it!
Look at Expendables.
At least we still got that Bruce Willis.
You're what's
This is
wrong with
kinda-
this world, Max.
No,
I am.
Jackie Chan.
No, there's nothing wrong with what he thinks because I do think I'm like when Harrison Ford did Firewall, I was like, man, you're too old for this shit.
Right? Like, I
I don't-
appreciated Liam Neeson up to where he started doing, like, Taken 3 and shit like
Right.
that, where, like, he's not able to do a lot of his action scenes very well anymore.
I don't think it's not necessarily that. I'm kind of wondering if maybe him saying I'm too old for this is kind of him saying like I don't want to fucking do this anymore.
Kind
Here's
of.
an excuse
Right.
so that you can accept me not wanting to do this
Right?
anymore.
See, and I appreciate that. And he could have come out at 45 and said exactly the same thing that he's saying at 65, or he could have said it
Yeah.
10 years from now, and we still would have been like, alright, I guess he is too old for action scenes now.
Did The Grey come out after Taken?
Yeah.
I believe
Like he
so.
did really. Grey was a great movie, I thought.
Right, yeah, like,
Yeah,
he's
it was very
done
Probably
good.
my favorite Liam Neeson
It is.
movie.
It was the most
Very underrated.
fucking lying movie I saw
Right.
before I saw it because I thought it was just Liam Neeson going to be boxing
But it's
bulls.
more survival
It is
than
more.
action,
It
though.
is very.
I'm okay with that.
It is a Jack London book. I love Jack London, and that's what it made me feel. As much as it mismarketed Liam Neeson fighting wolves because it doesn't happen to the very end, and he may have died or he may have lived. Who knows?
I
Yeah.
very much appreciated how kind kind of deep that movie
Yeah.
was at some points.
All right, and we don't have to be all that upset. He still has 2 movies coming out, so we're not done at this point.
I'm disappointed.
He's got
but I'm
stuff
not,
coming, though.
I'm not upset by any means. I think this just opens the door for Liam Neeson to do more dramatic
That
roles.
was like,
Which
he was
I
a really
agree
good-
with
I
that.
Yeah.
think we've
Well,
forgotten that
that's-
Liam Neeson's a very good actor.
He was
Oh,
in
yeah.
Gangs of New York as
That's another thing too. We can
The
go,
Butcher.
the butcher.
Yeah.
That's another thing too. Talking about dramatic roles for Liam Neeson and going back to The Gray, a lot of what's going on in the beginning of that movie has nothing to do with action,
Yeah.
and it's all extremely dramatic shit. I mean,
Which-
he's a suicidal man who goes on a plane ride that crashes and suddenly is all survivalistic.
I mean, don't forget that his best role was probably in Schindler's List.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he's really good in that.
Like, I appreciate him, and I just want to see more drama from him and less action-y.
Yeah.
He actually played Priest Bell, and the
Okay,
butcher
my
was
bad.
played by Daniel Day-Lewis. I'm sorry. I just
Daniel
wanted to
Day-Lewis
put
is a
that-
fucking
Yeah, he is a great
Yeah.
actor.
My bad. Like, oh, they're both really
They're
good.
both good. They're both
All
good.
right, what's up?
Talking about animals and punches reminds me of something very beautiful.
If you say Nicolas Cage in a bear suit, I'll cut you.
Nicolas Cage
You said it for me. I don't have to.
I love you. Like, I gotta give you that. All right,
Fuck off.
all right, Dem Game Boys. We have one movie video game news.
Oh, great.
Oh,
Let's
Lord.
go
All right,
on here.
so before,
Horny boobs!
before we get into this, there was a question on last week's Dem Game Boys that I wasn't here for, and it was, what is a movie that you would like to see adapted into a video game? None. There's a reason that movies are movies, and there's a reason that games are games. Movies are movies because they're a visual experience.
That's true.
Games are games because they're an interactive visual experience. I wouldn't want to see a movie adapted into a video game. What I would want to see is a movie's story or world adapted and then changed for a video game.
Tetris the movie.
Yes.
I don't know, you
So
get,
the
a, you get a lot of
falling
them, though, like
blocks.
The Last of Us or The Order,
Yeah,
where
exactly.
they're just practically movies already.
That
Right.
have like some interaction in them, and those
Yeah.
aren't that great of games. The Last of Us, I will argue, is a great game.
I would argue the opposite. I think it's
I like
shitty.
The Last of Us.
I don't like it.
I don't like what it's doing to
I
games
also-
now, where like everything else that's kind of coming out later is going to be like The Last of
Has
Us.
to be like
but-
story-driven.
That's
Yeah.
what I was gonna say. Is like I don't like The Last of Us just in general, but I hate how everyone is like it's the greatest game ever
Yeah,
made.
I don't
and
think it's a
if
bad
this game doesn't
but I don't
measure
think
up
it's
to
the
it, it's
greatest.
fucking trash.
Yeah, but the take
You're trash.
I know.
take any of the video games that were based off of the superhero
Don't need
movies
you to tell
that
me
came out like around 2010, like Iron Man 2.
Oh,
got
those games were
adapted into
trash.
a-
No. Batman Arkham City came out around then, I think.
But it wasn't based on
Yeah,
a
but
movie.
that
was
was
your
the
bad.
base.
I said
yeah,
it was
my
no
bad, yeah.
Batman
They-
Arkham City movie.
They took the Batman world and then
Yeah.
made it into a video game.
Like,
This, they took a movie and they made a video game
Have my
based
hand
on the
raised,
movie.
you asshole.
What?
I want to see the Dark Souls movie, and it's just 2 hours of him dying on the first boss. Like, he doesn't realize he can run through the side door, so he's just fighting with the broken sword for 2 hours.
Well, maybe
Best
I should have
comedy
been playing.
ever.
All right, so
Dark
If I want to see a
I'll give you
video
that.
game adapted into a movie, what I want to see is an aspect of that video game's world or story put into something completely new for the movie.
I'd be okay with that. Like, how I'm seeing this is like a Witcher-esque. Like, you're following a Witcher story. It's got like the same spells and everything.
but you're not Geralt.
But you're not following Geralt. You're not following him and his cult of women that he's acquired. It's like, it's just another
Even if you were
Witcher.
following Geralt, I mean, you could do that on a different story that's
Exactly.
not based
Exactly.
off the game
There's
stories.
enough.
There's books you can
There's
based off of,
enough
which you're
in
gonna
The
do.
Witcher
Yeah.
to put that into a sense.
Mhm.
But again, taking Dark Souls, there isn't really enough in there
Exactly.
to
There's-
make a movie without ruining what
Dark Souls.
Dark Souls makes.
Yeah.
You
in the
can't
first
take
place.
RPG games. You can't take.
Well,
Well, you kind of can, but like, you can't take
Fallout.
I'm
Yeah,
not
it's hard
saying-
to take anything where you make choices.
Right.
Yeah, where you
Yeah.
make the story is hard to make a movie.
Yeah.
That's why I don't think you can never ever make an Infamous movie or any of those
It-
because it relies basically on your choices.
But it really comes down to my argument as video games being their own artistic medium.
I
And
agree.
it's why I say that like not every video game has to be fun. Because I've recently played Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice, and it's a game that is not fun at all. It's not even really that great of a game, but it tells an incredible story. And that's the main point of that game.
So that could be a movie.
And I think it works better as a video game
Okay.
still, because it's something you're interacting with.
To mention Fallout, there's a YouTube channel called Nuka Break, and they did a wonderful series. And there's another series they have out now.
The Fallout
Not
4?
Fallout Universe. No, that's a different one. You're thinking
I
of
really
the-
like that one though.
It is
That
good,
really
but the one
brings
by
it
the
up.
storyteller. But they made a live-action Fallout series set within the New Vegas. They're like there's different characters. It was really good. I forgot what it's called. It's called Nuka Break. Here we go.
We'll see.
And it was fantastic. I think that's how you can do it. If you do it like within that universe, but with different characters, it works.
Right, but
Alright.
you don't do the story.
Yeah.
So, going back to a movie that Kian has actually referenced, where Sinbad, where one of the extra features is actually following a crappy story where you choose the adventure. What if we did something kind of like a Telltales, where like the story is basically set-ish, but
The
you
Room
can...
Telltale's game. Yes.
No.
God,
Like
no.
I was saying, like an actual Telltale's game, but like they shoot like 4 different versions of it, and like it's more slightly interactive. Where like you pick, this is the story you want to follow, so that movie plays.
But I mean, we have that already.
Kind of like
Telltale games.
Telltale, but
Yeah.
like more just like you.
It'd be like a choose your own adventure book.
But what I'm saying is, like, when you go to click play, there are like 3 versions of click play, like this, and this, and you just watch it like the 2.5 hours without making any choices. You made your major-ish decision at the beginning.
I still think that movies are kind of best when they're set in a world that's created by someone who had this entire world's vision into their head one day and was like, this is where my story's based in, this is what my story is, this is who's living through the story, this is what's happening.
That's very understandable.
Right,
Yeah.
and I like that.
I appreciate that very much.
I definitely view movies as a linear thing. And that's why I think games, being an interactive medium, can do something like having you make choices, because a movie has to be so scripted to planned out and everything,
Right.
whereas like a game, the storyline can be changed super easy and things can make sense,
Right.
because there doesn't really have to be that much storyline going in there either. I mean, The Witcher has a massive one that you have to take part in. Well, you don't have to if you don't play the game.
Well, you kind of do, kind of don't. You
Well,
can just be stuck in the
I
first
think
area.
that
if
The
you
Witcher
want.
could actually work as a movie, though. If
I
you have
do.
somebody that understands the world, because while there's different choices in The Witcher, Geralt's main motivations and actions,
Yeah.
no matter what
Yeah,
choice,
he
are always very
still
consistent.
goes down the same
Yeah.
path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's always very consistent within the character. Like,
But,
everything
yeah,
he
but
does,
it's-
you can see him doing.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not
not
like a reflection of yourself.
And
That's
that
part-
kind of
yeah.
comes down to like the shallowness of like making choices in video games. Is what you're doing really affecting the game all that much? Because everything's still, in a sense, planned out. Like, and that's how I think stories work the best.
Yeah. Like, I see The Witcher working better than, say, like, a Mass Effect, because with
Yeah.
Mass Effect, the choices you make and everything
yeah.
are definitely more a reflection of
They are.
yourself onto
Oh, yeah.
the game and affect
Right.
outcomes. Whereas The Witcher is something where it's more of a reflection of, well, this is Geralt's reaction. Like,
Well, what do you guys think of
This
the,
is what
the
you
two,
want
how
Geralt to
what do you
do.
think how the Tomb Raider movie will work? Because that's the news I was going to bring
Like,
up.
I'm excited for
And
it.
the reason I wanted to bring it up, so I'm sorry,
No, that's okay.
I'll let you
No.
finish real quick after this. I just need to get the story. Cause
No,
we're
yeah,
going
that's-
on
I'm gonna
to
let you
it.
finish, but Beyonce had the best music video of all time.
Well, with this in mind, with,
I'm gonna
and
let you finish, but
and I'm
Alice
glad I-
had the best video game adaptation movie of all time.
God
No,
damn it.
no.
I'll argue that
Spider-Man 2.
I will argue that Resident Evil 2 is probably the Resident Evil Apocalypse is probably the best video game adaptation.
And I will give you that. I will give you
All
that.
right.
But he says that he's going to bring new elements into the franchise and honor Lara Croft while also introducing these new elements. And what, like, as besides, did you ever play Tomb Raider?
Okay, so I played Lara Croft in the Temple of Osiris.
That's more of a platformer. But
Yes,
Yeah.
one of the free ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's free on Xbox.
What were you?
Didn't make it all the way through the game.
Yeah, it's
What about the
understandable.
other 3 Game Boys that are here? Exactly,
I've-
don't count these.
Played pretty much all
well,
of them.
I've
so.
played 2 of them
And
on
then
the
you,
original
well,
PlayStation,
yeah.
and then the new 2 ones that came out on current console. I really liked them. They were fun,
I think if they stick with the Lara Croft that's in the new series,
which I think they're doing.
it would be a better idea,
Mhm.
but give her a new story. Give her something new to do. She can have taken part in the 2 stories that are in the game, but give her something different. Let people watch something they haven't already played.
Right, don't do the prequel. Don't do the Tomb Raider 1.
At least
Yeah.
keep. I think they should keep certain elements like her backstory. She's the rich.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not saying change her in any way, but don't tell the same storyline that either of the 2 games have already done.
Just give her a new adventure.
Like,
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
she works really, really well because she has a bunch of stuff she can do, and it's not like a linear thing I don't know, or something like Mass Effect where it's going to be
She goes to fight dinosaurs.
that would be cool.
I'd be
Yes and
fine
no.
with that.
Yes and no. But
Well,
I
because
like.
in previous Tomb Raider
Yeah.
games,
She does fight
dinosaurs.
dinosaurs, but I feel like he's trying to get the grit and realism of that Tomb Raider. So with that in mind,
She fights a bunch of fucking ghost monsters.
does.
I
Yeah.
know, but you know what I mean.
Gritty
CGI
realism.
for days.
No.
So Blumhouse isn't giving the Spawn movie reboot a massive budget, which makes sense considering the comic books films rated R ambitions. Blumhouse is one of those things. They make all those fucking Paranormal Activities movies. They make all these fucking shit movies. And I just don't have any hope. Like, the only Blumhouse movie I actually really enjoyed was Get Out.
So they
That was
have
really
decided
enjoyable.
that Spawn is going to be rated R then.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, that's
How
good.
can he not be?
As somebody who likes Spawn and actually liked the movie, unlike the rest of you
I
assholes,
also liked the movie.
Same.
I've never watched it.
It was-
And I like
Okay.
the,
It was
I like the
subpar.
HBO television show as
Yeah.
well.
I
The
like
thing
the-
that I don't like about it is that it was only PG-13.
I
Yeah.
like the HBO television show. I don't like the movie. I like the movie because it's bad, but I don't like the
Like-
movie.
I'm disappointed that it's getting a low budget. If I'm not saying give it a huge budget, but give it a modest budget,
Give
and
it
I
a
would
leg
have
to
wanted to
stand
see
on.
shit.
He had his hand first.
Logan
Sorry.
had a low budget and it was amazing.
Okay.
Nobody gives a
I was going to
fuck.
say also that Deadpool had a lower budget, and it did pretty well too. So.
Right, but it's Blumhouse, so my faith in that is
Yeah,
just...
it's Blumhouse.
Do they
They're
love the
already
series,
low
though?
par.
What?
Did they say that they love the series though? Like they read it
No.
on their
I
fan
thought
page?
they were leaving McFarlane in the inner circle on this one.
Air quotes.
They're
Air
kind of
quotes. Yeah.
You just want it to have a leg to stand on.
Well,
Right.
Then, yeah.
Yeah.
Then no
Right.
hope because
Yeah.
Logan and Deadpool they were so successful because those people involved with it really loved the characters. They
Right.
cared about them a lot.
See, and these
So-
people are just kind of going, well, we're making a Spawn reboot. We're not giving a lot of money. We really don't give a shit, but we're gonna make it anyways. And that's kind of where I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, this movie's probably gonna be shit.
Yeah, it's gonna suck.
My-
Even though it's rated R and we can see some cool things, it's not
Un-
gonna be that great.
Until we see any definitive proof, we have hope.
We have hope, but we
My-
also have a lack of hope.
My hope is that Todd is going to have a lot of creative say behind it because he's always been a proponent of being behind his projects that involve what he's created in the past. He was there quite a bit for that Spawn movie, and I think he did a really good job of keeping the character what it's supposed to be. I just think that going with a PG-13 rating, you miss out on a lot of what not only happens to the character of Spawn, but the things that he does.
No, that's completely
And I think
understandable.
that's why the movie, as well as that weird CGI cape.
And this is made by the guys that made Paranormal Activity.
Right.
Confirmed found footage Spawn.
Right. Okay, maybe.
That might actually be an interesting
Did you guys
take
ever...
on
Did
things.
you... Am I the only one who enjoyed the girl with the dragon tattoo?
No,
I've
I love the
seen
girl
it.
with the
I-
tattoo.
Love the books,
I love the movies too.
but I do like the movie,
Are
actually.
you talking American or
The
foreign
American
version?
and the foreign.
American's okay. The foreign movies are
Foreign-
fantastic.
they're making another
Yeah,
American
the foreign
sequel.
one is
But they're not casting Rooney Mara. They're casting a new actress.
I think that's kind of weird because the girl with the dragon tattoo came out a while ago.
I think that's
Almost a
probably
decade.
Are they
why
remaking
it's
it?
recasting.
No, they're making They're making the sequel book.
That makes the recasting
Oh.
sound more believable, though, because it has been a really long time.
The Girl in the Spiderweb's The Girl in the Spiderweb is the second book, which I really liked. That was actually my favorite one of the three Girl with the Dragon Tattoo series. So we're going to run into the synopsis of the Marvel's Punisher teases a conspiracy that runs far deeper than the New York criminal underworld. So that it's going to be like, it's just, he's going to follow what Clancy Brown was doing. Remember? With the evil Colt? Then Turk Barrett, from all the other Netflix series, is coming back in the Punisher. That black dude that everyone kicks the shit out of.
I like that.
I love that dude.
God.
So I take it he probably is gonna get beat up.
Right.
Probably. I mean, the
Dynamite
Punisher's not
yeah.
really the type to negotiate.
He's probably gonna kill him.
No, he's not.
He's not gonna kill him. He'll probably just beat the shit out
It'd
of
be
him.
hilarious.
For
if
answers.
in this one, he was the big bad.
Right. Yes. Dynamite Entertainment, The Boys, is officially being developed by Amazon from Preacher's duo Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg. This makes me happy because I love The Boys. The Boys is the one of the... It's like basically... I don't even know how to explain it. It's these dudes with powers. It's kind of like when we made that, like, what's your superpower? And it's like Ryan's can stop time when he mad. Like, it's those kind of powers. It's those kind of powers that have, like, a terrible repercussion when they use them.
That sounds amazing.
And it makes me so happy because I love Preacher. I know Preacher isn't like the comics, but they can get close to it, and it's so good, in my opinion.
I've got to watch Preacher. It's on
I
the list.
recommend Preacher, and I'm really excited for The Boys.
Hold up. What did you say the second Girl with the Dragon Tattoo book was?
Girl in Webs.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It is the girl who played with fire.
Ooh,
I knew you were wrong, so I looked
So
it
they're
up.
jumping. They're jumping. That's weird.
No, the girl who played with fire is the second book.
I know, but no, the book the movie that's coming out.
Girl Spiderweb.
The Girl.
I thought they was-
They're doing the girl. Wow, they're jumping way ahead.
Yeah, they're jumping way ahead.
wonder
That's
if
after the
they're-
girl who kicked the hornet's nest.
Yeah.
I don't know
What
what
the
the fuck
fuck?
you're talking about.
That's stupid.
John and I here, HBO will take extra precautions to keep details of Game
Oh, yeah,
of Thrones
several
series.
endings, right?
Yep, finale from leaked by filming multiple endings.
Oh,
Well, didn't they do that for, was it Lost?
They did for The Walking Dead, for the Negan opening.
well, it makes sense because
Yeah.
they did have a lot of leaks to the script this year. And then,
Exactly, like
everybody's going to
everything.
be trying to figure out the
Yeah,
ending before it happens.
Everybody
I don't.
dies. is gonna
Yeah,
have
I don't
to
really get that because
Why
I want
would
to
you
see the
ruin that?
ending when it happens. I don't want to.
Yeah, that's
Being
the
a
thing
dick
too.
is some fun sometimes.
If people want to know before, I don't give a shit.
That's why The Walking Dead's very careful about this stuff now. That's why for the season opener last season they filmed multiple death scenes. So like the leaked footage, nobody could really be sure of who actually got offed.
Well, it was another reason too why they shot like so many different eye positions in the season finale because they didn't want people to just be able to guess it right away.
Right.
They wanted to like confuse you,
Right.
Which is great.
even though they ended up going with what everybody knew they were going to go with.
Yeah.
My
Good.
boy-
Glenn's character was getting so boring.
But he was the Asian that they all needed.
Yeah, they don't really
To die first.
Yeah. So Jim Carrey and the Eternal Sunshine Spotless Mind director Michael Gondry are reuniting for a Showtime comedy called Kidding. I'm really excited. I really love Eternal.
I heard it was good.
Yeah, it's a good movie. You should watch it. I think it's still on Netflix. It's an upload for
Well,
me.
it's
is
where
really good.
he, I don't know, it's like he asks,
He
because he
erases
breaks,
his
he
memories.
breaks up with his wife or his
Girlfriend.
girlfriend,
Yeah,
and
girlfriend.
he erases, yeah.
It's a downer movie.
But it's fun.
Pour yourself a glass of wine before
Right.
you watch it.
Whiskey.
Kate Winslet's in it also.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his girl.
So that's
Get
been
yourself
our-
a glass of wine and rev up your
Sad
liver.
drunk.
Yeah.
Sad drunk.
You know, big tub of ice cream, glass of wine. There you
Haagen-Dazs,
go.
man.
Right.
Haagen-Dazs.
So that's been our
No.
that's been our
Go with
news.
the cheap stuff, because if you're gonna go hard,
So
you're
great
gonna,
value that got
yeah,
it.
gonna down it.
Yeah, great value. So that's been our news.
That's where it's at.
Later.
All the
Later.
best stuff is great.
Bye.